I sat down to write John about my decision, and, as always, I began to imagine his reaction. John, you're being foolish. Of course I know the risks. Do you think me blind and deaf beside? No. No, I do not intend to hurt or frighten you, but I do not intend to change my mind either. I do not care what you say to me. I will not lose another child the way I lost Susanna. Yes. Yes, I dare bring her up now. I will bring her up whenever I please. She was my child too. Of course I'm right. I know I'm right. I understand. But I have to do what I think best. Perhaps I should wait to write to him. I did wait. For too long. He wrote, and I was forced to tell him. This came for me a few days later. Quite the reproach. Always could see through me too well for his own good. Oh, you mustn't blame John. You see, the inoculation in those days was extremely dangerous. You never knew how much of the disease you were being exposed to, and, well, it's understandable that he was frightened. Just because he thought it should be used in the army did not mean he wanted his wife and children to go through it alone. But I acted for the best. Here we all are now, perfectly safe. Forgive me, I'm not myself today. You see, John has been away in France for quite some time. France, of all places! Not that I have any objection to that country, but the distance has proved the greatest barrier. It's not insurmountable. It cannot be. There has been expecting word, and there has been none as yet. Oh, let me see. What else could I tell you? I witnessed the Battle of Bunker Hill, you know. Oh, yes. The cannons woke us early that morning. It was the first peaceful sleep I had had in months. No horrid visions of Boston in flames, soldiers tearing through the fields, John sick or injured, pleading with me to join him. Only peace. Then, bang! The cannon fire shook our house right through to its foundations. The children were very much alarmed, as you can imagine. They were calling through the door 1,000 questions. Who was firing? Which side was it? How close were they? I answered them as best I could while dressing in a great hurry. little news, apart from the constant roar of the cannon. At last, I could bear it no longer. I'm going to see what I can of the battle. It was then that John Quincy surprised me. He looked at me and said, "I will come with you, Mama." "Very well, then. Nabby, mind the house, dear. Come, come." We started the long trudge up the hill. As we grew near the top, Quincy's hand began to hold so tightly to mine, I thought my fingers were going to crack. I kept hold of his hand. At last we reached the top. As we saw the destruction, Charleston in flames, men becoming injured or even being killed, I think it is the first time I truly realized the price of what we were doing. But I decided that for freedom it was worth paying. Speaking of which, there's a passage from a letter here that actually I'm rather proud of. It expresses my views on our independence quite clearly. "I long to hear that you have declared an independency. And, by the way, in the new code of laws, which I suppose it will be necessary for you to make, I desire you would remember the ladies. Be more generous and favorable to them than your ancestors. Do not put such unlimited power into the hands of the husbands. Remember, all men would be tyrants if they could. If particular care and attention is not paid to the ladies, we are determined to foment a rebellion, and will not hold ourselves bound by any laws in which we have no voice or representation." Not as eloquent as some, perhaps, but I do think that it was rather... Will you excuse me a moment? Yes, what is it, Nabby? Oh, thank you, dear. No. No, nothing from Papa. From Mr. Lovell, James Lovell. He is a frequent correspondent when John is away. Not that it would ever be anything more. You're both married, and very happily, from what I can tell, but it is comforting to receive some assurance of tenderness from someone. I can tell what you are thinking. But I was abandoned, and worse, teased. I do not hear from him for months. And the very first letter I get from my husband is full of the praise of French women. I had to find comfort from somewhere. There has still been no word. it off, of course. If John came home, you see, there would be no need. What is that sound? Father's carriage. Nonsense. It's coming in the drive. It is John. Never mind that now, girl. You're